Hey friends, welcome to Growing with Creekside. We have a very fun, muddy day ahead of us because we are going to be trenching the high-speed fiber internet line, technical, whatever that's called, but it's a fiber line, from the barn all the way through the new signature garden, all the way through all the fields, multiple fields, up to production. I actually have a bird's eye view. Jackson lifted me up in the Bobcat, so we can see exactly all the fun things that are happening here. So let me show you. We are right here, of course, above the 15 perennials for the south flower bed here at the Proven Winner Signature Garden, the future home rather. And back here in the back, I think maybe you can see behind the barn, Jerry and Andrew, they are preparing the little Bobcat, greasing all the joints and getting everybody ready because it is gonna get put to work today. So we got Cece and Alyssa and Mare are all out there working their little hearts out here at the nursery today. Give you a quick little overview. This area is going to be where the signature garden is. So we have the four corners marked. So this is the back far corner, goes straight all the way across and then up. I think maybe you can see that other stake in the ground with the survey tape. So everything here is going to be this Proven Winner Signature Garden. Now, the problem, quote, with the fiber line is that, of course, we want to make the most direct route, right? So from the barn, we're going to come straight through this flower bed. This flower bed is going to get removed because of the signature garden, but of course, I want to keep these beautiful plants. So what we're going to do, this is why the Bobcat is here and why I am in the bucket, is because Jerry's going to dig these up and then move them to a shady location just, I don't know, 100 feet away from me. And that way, when it's time to plant the signature garden, we can use these plants. Because of course, I mean, we have got those three stunning summerific edge of night hibiscus. We have got, I mean, look at the massive daylilies, right? The daylilies, the Amsonia, the daisy mays. We've got baptisia in here, phlox, grass, all sorts of things. And we do not just want to be wasteful with these plants. Of course, we want to keep them. So what he's going to do is what he did with the other gardens is use the big bucket here in the Bobcat and just lift up as much soil and roots as he possibly can get. And then he is going to take them, we're going to spin the camera. This is why it's great to have a bird's eye view. Then he is going to take them right over here behind the trees. So he's going to lay them down and get, with all that great soil, they'll not even realize that they've been moved and be underneath the shade of the trees and be just great. Now, you might be able to see straight in front of me. I can't tell what the camera can pick up, but right here in front of me, there is a white PVC pipe sticking out of the ground. That is where we are going. That is where the fiber line is going to go. So obviously they're going to trench nice and deep all the way across, even up to that white PVC pipe. That PVC pipe will then lay flat in the ground, but that is the conduit that they have already laid beneath the creek. So the fiber line is going to go in that conduit and go under the creek and then up the other side and then as straight as we possibly can go up to production. So why in the world are we laying fiber line? We're laying fiber line because we need internet, and we need internet up at the production facilities for shipping and just business in general, right? So we are very remote. We are in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes the internet can be a little iffy around here. A couple of years ago, Jerry and I went ahead, we had to, because I mean, we upload 5 videos a week to YouTube, and that is not a quick and easy process if your internet is not just right on. It can be very, drive you insane. So we went ahead and had a fiber brought directly to the house so we could have really great, amazing internet so that we can upload our videos and upload all of our things that we need for the business. We're tapping into that, so we already have the fiber line running from the house to the barn. So now we're running it from the barn up to production. That way we will have amazing internet at all of our facilities here at Creekside Nursery. So that is what we are doing. The reason that we're doing it, because as you probably know, we will begin shipping this fall and coming into many years to come, hopefully, of doing great online sales. And so up at production, obviously you're gonna need internet in order to run that business. So that is what we're gonna do. It is going to be a fun-filled day. We're gonna start with removing all of these plants, relocating them, and then trenching. Either I or Jackson are gonna get on the mower and really mow down the grass where the line is gonna go. So that will just help eliminate, you know, some of the clods. And fun fact, Frank is here on the track loader and we just saw him. So he is moving soil up there. So we will also keep you up to date on what is happening up there at production, preparing the land for the new greenhouses. So a lot of moving parts, and it is not even 9:30 in the morning. Lots of fun here at Creekside Nursery. So stay tuned and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
All right, my friends, so we have, we're at a stopping point for right now. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we started this, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're halfway there. No, not halfway there. We're to the creek, let's just say that. So behind me, you can see the trench all the way to the barn. So what took us kind of the longest time was, of course, up closest to the barn. That's where we have a lot of our existing infrastructure, right? So there is a main water line feeding the shrub lot and the barn and all that. So we had to locate that. Then we also have that, I think you would have seen that large white PVC pipe that is close to the barn. We found that one relatively easy. Then Andrew was able to kind of dig out around it because that fiber line needed to go underneath that pipe. That is actually like a, I think a 6-inch, 8-inch, something like that, PVC pipe, slick PVC pipe that the French drain is connected to that runs behind all of the barn and all that. So we definitely don't want to hit that because that takes the water from that French drain and pumps it away from, drains it away from that whole area. That took a lot of time to locate all those pipes, to dig out around those pipes and so forth. Then, of course, we were trenching. And so here in this area where the signature garden is going to go, we needed to make sure that we could go as deep with this trench as we possibly could go so that that fiber line could lay down in that trench. We needed it as deep as the bobcat and the trencher would take it, because you never know what's going to happen here, right? We know we have the signature garden. We're going to build up on top of that. But between here and the signature garden, I mean, what could happen there in the future with development and construction? One just never knows. So we have learned to always go on the cautious side. So it is buried probably 3 feet down, I would say. And with the fiber, there's no need to put it in a conduit the entire length because the fiber line itself is insulated. So we are good on that. Now, from the creek, which is where I'm standing at basically right now, to across the creek, like I said earlier, we had that very a PVC pipe that goes through the creek and then up the other side. What we did with that is the fellows were quite smart and got the brown drip tube, and because it's nice and firm, and so Andrew stood on this side and fed it through that PVC pipe to the other side. We were able to grab it. Jerry was able to hook on the fiber line, use some electrical tape, wrap it around there really good, then came back on the other side, and then I pulled it. Once we got it pulled, took off the electrical tape, took off the irrigation tubing. There's a lot of parts here, y'all. I'm trying to get it all straight. And then I just took off walking to the barn. The boys were on the other side of the creek because the fiber is on a really large spool. They had a metal pipe going through it. They were holding it and I was just pulling it. So I pulled it all the way to the barn. Again, it took a hot minute to measure this line because we needed to measure the line inside the barn because of having to go up the wall and all that other stuff. So we're being very cautious with our measurements because this is fiber line. You just don't splice a fiber line together. You can, but it is extremely pricey to do that. So we need to make sure that we have the right amount of fiber on each end here at the barn and all the way at production. Y'all, I'm telling you, it is just, whew, we're getting there. So once we go across the creek, we don't need to bury it nearly as deep because construction is not going to happen over here. So this area doesn't need to go as deep. That is what Jerry and Andrew are now doing, is now trenching that line all the way up. We're making our way up to production. For now, we're going to leave this trench exposed in case we do need to wiggle back and forth some of the fiber from one end to the next. If we were to get some sort of like big rainstorm that just pops out of nowhere, it's okay because the fiber's in the trench and if some of the soil falls in or it fills up with water, it's okay and everything's fine. By the end of the day though, we're gonna have it all covered. So no need to worry about that. I think I covered everything. I think you're all up to date. So we're just gonna continue trenching and making our way up to production. Update on production and clearing land. So I believe Frank worked for, I don't know, a couple of hours, maybe if even that, and then it was just way too wet. So it just couldn't do much past that because the soil was just absolutely saturated. Gonna let it dry out for the rest of the day. Hopefully he says he's gonna try to come back tomorrow if it has dried out enough, and we will go from there. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated on all the fun shenanigans here at Creekside Nursery. My friends, the project is complete for today. It's not complete, but we're done. It's Friday after 5 o'clock, and so we're done. We made it to production, praise the Lord, and it fit. It was long enough. We had a little bit of extra room, which is good. That way we can fit it and kind of put it exactly where we want to in the building. Gives us some wiggle room as far as that goes. Give you an idea of, yeah, I tell you, we feel like we have giant gopher going on in here, but yeah, we're tired. Okay, so here we go. Trench all the way from production, all the way down to the barn. Yes, the line is in there. It is lying in the trench quite nicely all the way down. We are not gonna worry about filling in the ditches today because it's 5 o'clock on Friday and we're hot and sweaty and tired. And even if it were to rain and some of this soil falls in and it gets water in it, it's okay. The line is nice and protected. What we'll do is come back with the machine, one of the machines, and just scrape all of that soil back into the trench and then roll it over and get it nice and compacted. The reason that we had such a kind of like a time crunch on this was because here where they are fixing the pad, right, for the new greenhouse, we wanted to get this fiber line in because they're gonna taper this back from the greenhouse, and so this will be built up some. So it's better for us to go ahead and put the line in now, and then they may be adding soil to it, gravel on top of it. Of course, you know, when we get all this done, because this will all be gravel in here. So go ahead and get that infrastructure in before, right before we don't have to mess it up again. So that was what the crunch was on this. And we really couldn't go any further with the signature garden until we got the fiber line passed through there. So it's been a good day's work. Wouldn't necessarily call it a fun day's work, but this is something that we've had to do. We've known we've had to do this for, gosh, a year, over a year, and we were always just kind of putting it off because we didn't want to do it because we knew it wasn't going to be very fun. But now that it's done, it feels good, and sometimes you just have to do what you don't want to do and just get it done. And yeah, so anyway, we're done for the day. We'll keep you updated on all the things that are happening. Y'all have a great weekend. When you see this, it'll be Monday, so I hope you have a great Monday. See you soon. Bye, friends.